My impression is very good, which means it makes sense that we bring the work here. There are many people who gather around the work, who stand for a very long time. I have the feeling that there are some people also who saw the work before, so that means they come back and they want to see what is on today. And what is astonishing is that many people don't have an opinion. I know the German people as always very clear with their opinions. A German person, in my experience, always wants to have an opinion as soon as possible. Right? You ask them something and then it's like, yes, this is my opinion and that's the reason why. And here I have the feeling that many feel just disturbed or confused or feel doubts about what they see, which is for me as an artist a big thing. So in that sense I think I manage. What I see is that people stand still for a long time, that they maybe are not so, that they don't speak about it as they did the days before. I think when the girl was in there, the second day, Ceci n'est pas une mère, that people were having a very clear opinion on that, and now it seems that people feel, I feel confronted, I feel provoked, and actually I don't know yet what it means to see a person who's definitely older than the models than we see normally in our life, but she's put there clearly as a model. And what, I mean, when you would see her face and when you would see her hair, you would definitely find out that she is an old person, but that's of course the things that the older people normally show on the street. So when you cover that and you put actually the attention on the parts of the body that are normally covered, then something else starts to happen in the head, and that raises the question: is there a taboo on growing old? Is there a taboo on the body as a reference to us growing old? And that's, I think, an important question, especially in a street like this, in a shopping district where we have all the images around us that confront us with youth, that confronts us with ideal versions of ourselves. When you walk here, I think, especially when you walk anywhere in town, you see the ideal version of ourselves. Most of the times sent to us by marketeers, by marketing people who send us ideal images. So what does it mean that we are not mirrored by a marketing picture that I see now there at Esprit, but by someone who is showing us, who is giving us a flash forward, and who's showing us, hey, this is what your body might look like when you are 40 years older. I mean, we've been touring with the work, and that means that we've been showing these images also in other cities, but it functions, I think, in Western Europe. When you would put the image of today in Brazil, you would get another response. I think that older people in Brazil are way more relaxed about showing their body, also when they're 80 years old. Whereas in Germany and in Holland and in England, people learn like after, when you're 40 or 45 and you are a woman, the first thing that you should do is cut your hair and then please close everything and just communicate with words but not with your body anymore. So I think this is a northwestern Europe thing. I think already in Spain this image would have less effect as it does have here. But there are other images that might have a bigger effect there. I mean, the whole thing around pedophilia, the third day, that's an image that functions. I mean, this would be very worth doing also in the United States, I think, which is a culture, and we are sometimes copying the American culture, which is a culture of blocking off, of getting rid of parts of society, so that the street is becoming some kind of a sugar cake. It's showing the most perfect of the perfect of the perfect version of your life. And you can ask yourself the question, what if you cannot compete with all these images? What if you don't manage? What if all these ideals are not there for you? And I think that's dangerous. I think that it's good to be in touch also with vulnerability, that it's good to be in touch with things that are not ideal, that will break one day. When you're getting a disease, for example, when you are getting cancer and you've never been in touch with images that show you the not ideal life, then this can become a big shock. I think we should also surround us with images that are less ideal, and it depends on the country where you're in if this functions or not. The first time when I made it in Utrecht, I said this is especially for Utrecht, and afterwards we will discuss how the images will evolve, what we will make different, and then I discussed it with the different programmers who wanted to have the work, and actually we found out that most of the images work perfectly in all the cities in Western Europe. So I think that I would not change big things as long as I tour it in northwest of Europe. But of course, the moment that we will bring it to other parts of the world, then you cannot bring this work to China or to Turkey or to Southern America. So that's the question. But the next month we bring it to Helsinki and Freiburg, and there many of the images will be the same. I mean, Ceci n'est pas l'histoire was definitely something that had to do with Germany, with the history in Namibia, the colonial history of Germany, so that's something we would need to discuss again with the people from Helsinki. But most of the other images will stay the same, although the text will be changed, because that depends all on the local situation.